back once again, and thank you so much for joining me here today. I have been getting a lot of questions recently about my switch from an over-under grip in the deadlift to the hook grip, why I did it, does it still hurt, how long did it take me to transition, and a lot of other questions. And I'm going to make this video as part of my coaching tips series to try and address some of those questions and clear some things up. I do want to preface all of this by saying this is just what I have been doing to serve my particular needs. There may be other people who will give you different advice about this or have had different experiences with this kind of a transition, and I'm not going to discount or tell you that they are completely wrong. This is really just what I have been doing in my own particular experience, and it has been working very, very well. I've hit I will straight up say that it is probably the semi-magical fix that completely resurrected my deadlift that had been stuck for years and years and years, and this is the change that I attribute most of that success to. So first of all, we're going to go into what is the hook grip, how is it different from normal over-under grips with the bar, and if you're not even used to that, what am I talking about at all? So we're going to move over to this barbell and I'll demonstrate that. So, with a normal grip on the bar, most people close their hand around the bar and grip with the thumb on the outside of the fingers. The thumb squeezes the fingers in, preventing this from lifting up. You can have it in the center of your hand, closer to these knuckles. Some people go out all the way out here, but for the most part, the big key is that the thumb is on the outside of the hand. For the hook grip, you take your thumb and you jam it in there. Try to hook the bar as if you were just going to pick it up with only your thumb, then wrap your fingers around, and the weight of the bar pushes the thumb into the rest of the fingers. Now, instead of having this thumb trying to hold this finger as the bar tries to pull away, you have all of your fingers holding, or at least two, one or two depending on the size of your hand, will be pushing your thumb into the bar. The bar pulls onto the thumb, locks it in, and it won't go anywhere. That's the general point. So, again, hook the bar like you're going to try and pick it up with just your thumb, wrap the fingers around, and now it's locked in. The bar can't rotate out. Okay, move down over here. We're going to demonstrate kind of what effect this has. So why use the hook grip instead of a double overhand or an over-under grip? When you're doing a double overhand grip on the bar, if my thumbs are not locked in, I'm just holding it, the bar, anytime I start pulling, will try and pull towards the open portion of my hand. It rolls out. If my hands were under, it rolls out the other way. The way we fix this is by going over-under, so now the bar doesn't have any way to roll. It can't roll that way, it can't roll this way, it just stops. The problem with this is that obviously there's a lack of symmetry in the setup, which means that there's the potential for more muscle imbalance throughout my arms, my back, my hips. The general positioning integrity is going to be taxed by having one hand that is in this position while the other is in a completely different position. The other problem, and the one that was the biggest issue for me and why I eventually switched, is sometimes this underhand will start to pull the bar away. It will drift. One of the reasons that happens is you see my overhand, the joint of the arm it doesn't want to go away from my body. It would, if it would come in this way or something, but this joint is not the issue. The underhand, the joint is now positioned away from my body, and so any kind of movement forward, the arm wants to bend in that direction. The bar floats away, and I missed countless deadlifts over 700 pounds by starting the pull and having the bar drift away from me as this arm wanted to move. It pulled my shoulders out of position. The way that I fixed this was by switching to the hook. Now, the bar is locked in. I can't let go unless I actively open my hand, because the weight of the bar pushes my thumb further into my hand. The bar can't roll out because we've closed off that position. See, this is not even, I can squeeze as hard as I want, but that's just locked in there by the weight of the bar. And now, even if I tried to bend my elbows, they straighten out and I can't bend and have the bar just drift away on its own. This isn't a fix-all. It's not guaranteed to make your lift go from bad to good overnight, and there are a couple of cons to these pros. So let's list them out really quickly. The pros, again, you have a more symmetrical setup. Your positions are going to be more stable when you are facing the same direction with all your parts. You are less likely to put extra strain on this bicep. I pulled with an over-under grip for 15 years. I still do my rep work and back offsets with an over-under grip where some people resort to using straps. That's totally valid. I'm too stubborn for it. And switching to the hook does prevent the biggest misgroove that I had for so long on my deadlifts, and it robbed me of so many pulls that I know that I had the strength for. My margin for error was too small, where now it is much easier for me to maintain my positions and not mess up as many pulls. The cons, first of all, it's not comfortable. It hurts. You're putting the pressure of all of that weight, instead of being on all your fingers, is now on the skin of this thumb and on the joint. It's not a very fun place to be. People have asked me, does it ever stop hurting? My answer to that is not really, but you get better at tolerating it. You get more used to it, and we exist in a sport that is built on discomfort. Lifting heavy weights hurts sometimes, most of the time, and it doesn't stop you from doing it if you are a powerlifter. You still want to squat bigger and bigger weights. They don't get less uncomfortable. You value the pursuit of the growth, and you value lifting more and more weights over the kind of comfort you feel in this moment. You can mitigate some of that discomfort by taping, and the next video in this series actually is going to be going over some methods that I use to tape my thumbs for the hook grip. In the USAPL and IPF, it is legal to have 2 layers of athletic tape over the thumb for your deadlifts, which is very helpful. And then for training, I'll also go over some of the ways that I tape my hands, because it is different than I do in competitions, largely because in competition you're only taking 3 attempts and it doesn't have as much wear on your thumbs, versus in training you may be taking dozens of repetitions, which can accumulate much more discomfort in a shorter amount of time. And you do want to protect your skin. You don't want to have unnecessary tears in training or in contests that are robbing you of those pulls. So the answer to that question, does it ever stop hurting? Is it always uncomfortable? It is never completely comfortable, but neither is powerlifting. And so that just is something you need to keep in mind if this is something for you. I'm not saying everybody has to do it. I'm just trying to tell you that this is something that really benefited me. It fixed a glaring issue that I was having consistently in my own deadlift. It's usable for either sumo or for conventional pullers. Conventional pullers may even get more out of it, because when you get to the top, your thumbs are not contacting your body, it's just hanging in air. With a sumo pull, you come up, sometimes you will hit your thighs. That puts even more pressure on that joint, and so it is a little bit less comfortable, but there are still many, many successful sumo pullers who are using the hook grip, finding it very beneficial. In terms of who should be thinking about doing this, of novice lifters, intermediate lifters, advanced lifters, how long have you been lifting, I would encourage anyone to try it out, because one of the things that made my transition from an over-under grip to a hook grip a little smoother would be that I've been doing it for years and years in small amounts. I didn't feel completely like a baby deer that was just born by switching my hand over, because I always warm up all my sets up to 405 and have for years with a double overhand grip without the hook. And then I would often warm up with the hook grip anyway, just to be more consistent, which, looking back, was one of the problems I was having when I would switch to an over-under after warming up with the hook, that I would feel that bar drifting away even more, and that was really what made me more conscious of it and why I decided to switch. Why did I wait until my 17th year of lifting weights to switch from something that I've been doing for so long to completely going for the hook grip for all of my top sets? Well, I kept waiting for the right time where I felt like I'd be able to manage it. If you're waiting for the right time to do it because you feel like you may not be able to handle it at those higher weights, you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to try it without the risk of it not working for you. You have to be willing to risk a little bit to try and gain more. And specifically with something like the hook grip, the first time I deadlifted over 700 pounds with the hook grip, I deadlifted 760 pounds with the hook grip. Going into that session, I wasn't sure if it would work. I had to go for it, and when I found out that I could handle it, it was one of those eye-opening experiences which said, to me, this is what you need to be doing because it fixed all of your problems. I'm not saying it's going to happen for everybody, but it has definitely benefited my deadlifting, and I would encourage anybody who's interested at all in optimizing their positions to at least give it a shot and see if it can work for you too. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope it answered questions. I know there's probably many, many more. I haven't covered everything. I'm going to link a couple of other videos in the description down below. Alan Thrall made a very good video that is helpful in understanding some of these topics. Omar Isuf did as well. I will definitely link theirs, as well as any others that I find in the next couple of days that I think are helpful. Please ask questions in the comments. I will try my best for at least the first few days to answer them, and if anybody else in the comments sees a question they feel like they have a really solid answer for, please help each other out. This is a community, and I appreciate you all very much for being a part of it with me. Check out the next video in this series for that kind of the tutorial on how I tape my hands for competitions and for training, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. You have a great day. Bye.